Let me tell you something that might change the way you see yourself forever. You are not bad at English. Yes, you heard that right. If you can understand this sentence right now, if you've ever recognized words in a movie, a song, or a conversation, then the problem is not your ability. Hello and welcome to English with Ryan. Chapter 1. Why You're Not Bad at English. You're Just Afraid. The problem is fear. Think about it. How many times have you had something to say in English, but you stayed silent? Not because you didn't know the words, but because you were afraid. Afraid of making mistakes. Afraid of sounding stupid. Afraid that people would judge you, laugh at you, or think you're not smart. So instead of speaking, you freeze. Your mind goes blank. Your heart beats faster. And suddenly, all the English you know disappears. This happens to millions of learners around the world. You study grammar. You memorize vocabulary. You do exercises. But when it's time to speak, nothing comes out. And then you tell yourself, maybe I'm just not good at English. But that's not true. Because speaking a language is not about perfection. It's about communication. A child doesn't wait to speak until their grammar is perfect. But as adults, we do the opposite. We wait. We overthink. We try to be perfect. And that's exactly what keeps us stuck. Here's the truth. Fluency doesn't start when your English is perfect. Fluency starts the moment you stop being afraid to speak imperfectly. The people you think are good at English, they're not fearless. They just speak anyway. They make mistakes anyway. They move forward anyway. And that's why they improve faster than you. So what if, starting today, you changed one thing? What if you gave yourself permission to be wrong? What if you spoke even when your sentence isn't perfect? What if you stopped trying to impress people and started trying to express yourself? Because your voice matters more than your grammar, and your courage matters more than your vocabulary. In this journey, you're not going to become perfect. You're going to become confident. And that changes everything. This is where it begins. Chapter 2. The Psychology of Fear in Language Learning. Fear doesn't come from English itself. It comes from what you think will happen when you use it. When you try to speak, your brain is not just thinking about words. It's predicting consequences. It asks questions like, what if I say it wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if I embarrass myself? And your brain treats those situations as danger. Not physical danger, but social danger. Humans are wired to avoid rejection. Thousands of years ago, being rejected by your group could mean survival was at risk. Today, that instinct is still there, even in something as simple as speaking a foreign language. So when you open your mouth to speak English, your brain activates a response. Fight, flight, or freeze. Most language learners freeze. Your thoughts slow down. Words disappear. Even simple sentences become difficult. It's not because you don't know English, it's because your brain is trying to protect you. But here's the problem. Your brain is protecting you from something that isn't actually dangerous. Making a mistake in English will not harm you. No one is going to remember your small grammar error. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves, and in many cases, they will respect you more for trying. Another hidden cause of fear comes from how many people were taught English. Years of focusing on grammar rules. Tests with only one correct answer. Teachers correcting every mistake immediately. Over time, you learn one message. Mistakes are bad, so you start avoiding them at all costs. But avoiding mistakes also means avoiding speaking. And avoiding speaking means you never improve. Mistakes are not proof that you're bad at English. They are proof that you are using English. Every time you make a mistake, your brain receives feedback. It adjusts. It improves. That's how learning actually works. So instead of asking, what if I make a mistake? Try asking a better question. What can I learn from this? Shift your focus from performance to progress. You're not here to impress people. You're here to grow. The moment you change how you see mistakes, fear begins to lose its power. And when fear gets weaker, your voice gets stronger. Chapter 3. Stop translating. Start thinking in English. There is a hidden habit that slows you down every time you try to speak. You hear something in your language. You translate it into English. Then you check if it's correct. Then you say it. This process feels safe, but it's actually the reason you hesitate. Translation creates a delay. It forces your brain to do extra work. And while you're searching for the perfect sentence, the conversation keeps moving. That's when pressure builds. You feel behind. You panic. And once again, your mind goes blank. Fluent speakers don't translate every sentence. They think directly in English. Not because they are smarter, but because they train their brain differently. The goal is not to know more words. The goal is to reduce the time between thought and speech. And that starts by simplifying how you think. Instead of trying to say everything perfectly, start with what you can say easily. You don't need complex grammar to communicate. For example, instead of thinking, "I would like to express my opinion about this situation," you can say, "I think this is good," or "I don't like this." Simple sentences are fast. And speed builds confidence. Another powerful technique is labeling. Look around you and name things in English. Table, phone, door. Then expand. The door is open. My phone is on the table. This trains your brain to connect ideas directly to English, without translation. You can also practice thinking in English during daily activities. When you walk, describe what you see. When you eat, describe what you're doing. I'm eating rice. This is delicious. I need water. It may feel strange at first. That's normal. You're building a new habit. And habits take repetition. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on being direct. If you don't know a word, use easier words. If your sentence is not correct, say it anyway. Your brain will learn faster from real use than from silent thinking. The more you think in English, the less you depend on your native language. And when that dependence disappears, something important happens. Your speaking becomes natural, not because your English is perfect, but because your thoughts and your words finally move together. Chapter 4. Build confidence. With small daily wins, confidence does not come from one big moment. It comes from many small moments that you repeat every day. Most learners wait until they feel ready to speak more. They believe confidence will come first, and then action will follow. But in reality, it works the other way around. Action creates confidence. And the best way to take action is to make it small. If you try to speak for 1 hour every day, you might feel overwhelmed. You might skip days. You might quit. But if you speak for 5 minutes, you can do it every day. And consistency is what changes you. Start with something simple. Talk to yourself. It may feel unusual at first, but it's one of the safest ways to practice. There is no pressure, no judgment, no interruption. You can describe your day. I woke up at 7. I feel tired today. I need to finish my work. You can talk about your plans. I will go outside later. I want to learn new words. Or even your thoughts. I don't know what to say, but I'm trying. These small sentences matter. They train your mouth to move. They train your brain to respond faster. Another powerful habit is shadowing. Listen to a short sentence from a video or audio and repeat it immediately. Try to copy the rhythm, the speed, the sound. Don't pause too long. Don't analyze too much. Just follow. This helps you sound more natural and reduces hesitation. Recording your voice is also extremely effective. Speak for 1 or 2 minutes and record yourself. Then listen. You will notice mistakes. You will notice pauses. At first, you may feel uncomfortable hearing your own voice. That's normal. But over time, you will get used to it. And when you get used to your own voice, you become less afraid to use it with others. Track your progress in a simple way. Mark each day you practice. Even if it's just 5 minutes. Those small wins will build momentum. And momentum builds belief. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a daily habit. Because every time you show up and speak, even a little, you are proving something to yourself. I can do this. And that belief is where real confidence begins. Chapter 5. The Power of Imperfect Speaking. There is one idea that quietly holds many learners back. I need to speak correctly. It sounds reasonable. It sounds responsible. But it creates a dangerous habit. You start measuring every sentence before you say it. You check the grammar. You search for the right word. You adjust the structure. And while you're doing that, the moment to speak is gone. Real conversations don't wait. People don't pause for you to build a perfect sentence. They expect a response simple, direct, and natural. This is why imperfect speaking is powerful, because it allows you to stay in the conversation. If someone understands you, your message is successful. For example, you don't need to say, "I would like to inquire about the availability of this item." You can simply say, "Do you have this?" Clear, direct, effective. Imperfect speaking removes pressure. And when pressure is lower, your brain works better. You think faster, you respond faster, you feel more relaxed. Another important skill is learning how to keep speaking, even when you're not sure what to say. This is where fillers help. Words like, "well, let me think," "I think," "you know." These small phrases give you time. They keep the conversation alive. While your brain catches up, silence creates pressure. But movement, even imperfect movement, creates flow. You can also practice speaking without stopping. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Pick any topic. And speak. Don't stop. Don't correct yourself. Don't restart. If you don't know a word, explain it in another way. If you make a mistake, continue. This exercise trains your brain to prioritize communication over perfection. At first, it will feel messy. That's okay. Messy is part of growth. Fluent speakers are not perfect speakers. They are comfortable speakers. They don't panic when they make mistakes. They don't stop when something is not correct. They trust themselves to keep going. And that trust is built through imperfect action. So the next time you speak, don't aim to be right. Aim to be understood. Because every imperfect sentence you say is a step forward. And every step forward makes fears smaller. Chapter 6. Pronunciation. Without embarrassment. Many learners stay silent not because they don't know words, but because they are worried about how they sound. They think their pronunciation is not good enough. They worry their accent is too strong. They imagine people will not understand them, or worse, will judge them. So they choose silence. But here is something important to understand. Having an accent is not a problem. Everyone has an accent. Even native speakers sound different depending on where they are from. American, British, Australian, Indian, none of them sound exactly the same. And yet, they understand each other. The real goal of pronunciation is not perfection. It is clarity. Can people understand you? That's what matters. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You need to sound clear enough to communicate your message. Instead of trying to fix every sound, focus on the bigger picture. English has rhythm. Some words are stressed. Some are reduced. For example, "I want to go to the store." The stressed words are stronger, clearer, louder. The small words become softer and faster. This rhythm is what makes speech sound natural. Another key part is linking. In real conversations, words are connected. Not "I am going to," but "I'm going to," or even "I'm gonna." When you practice pronunciation, don't isolate words too much. Practice sentences. Practice flow. Shadowing is one of the best tools for this. Listen to a short sentence. Repeat it immediately. Try to match the speed, the rhythm, the tone. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Focus on imitation, not analysis. Another helpful habit is exaggeration. When you practice alone, speak a little more clearly than usual. Open your mouth more. Stress the key words more. This builds muscle memory. Later, your natural speech will improve. And most importantly, allow yourself to sound different. Your voice does not need to copy someone else. It needs to express you. People are not listening to judge your accent. They are listening to understand your idea. And if your message is clear, your pronunciation is already good enough. The more you speak, the more your pronunciation will naturally improve. Not because you forced it, but because you used it. Chapter 7. How to practice speaking, even without partners. Many people believe they can't improve their speaking because they don't have anyone to practice with. No partner, no teacher, no environment. So they wait. They wait until they find someone. They wait until they join a class. They wait until the right situation appears. And while they wait, they don't speak. But speaking is a skill you can build alone. In fact, practicing alone can be one of the most powerful ways to improve because you control everything. You control the speed. You control the topic. You control the pressure. One of the simplest methods is self-talk. You don't need special tools. Just speak out loud. Describe what you're doing in real time. I'm opening my laptop. I need to reply to this message. This is difficult. This turns your daily life into practice. Another method is role-playing. Create situations in your mind. You are at a restaurant. You are at an airport. You are in a job interview. Ask yourself questions, then answer them. Can I help you? Yes, I would like a coffee. Or, tell me about yourself. I work in... This prepares you for real conversations before they happen. Technology can also support your practice. You can use voice tools or AI to simulate conversations. You can speak, get responses, and continue. It's not perfect, but it's enough to build momentum. Another powerful tool is a speaking journal. Instead of writing your thoughts, speak them. Choose a topic each day and talk for 2 or 3 minutes. Record it. You don't need to listen every time, but sometimes, go back and notice your improvement. You will hear yourself becoming clearer, faster, more confident. You can also practice with content. Watch a short video, pause it, then explain what you just heard in your own words. This forces you to think, organize ideas, and speak all at once, even without a partner. You are training real communication skills. The key is to stop thinking of practice as something that requires other people. Your voice is enough. Your environment is enough. Your daily life is enough. Because the goal is not to wait for the perfect opportunity. The goal is to create it. And once you realize you can practice anytime, anywhere, you stop depending on others. And you start building your speaking ability on your own terms. Chapter 8. From Fear to Freedom. Becoming a confident speaker. At some point, something changes. You don't notice it immediately, but one day, you start speaking, and it feels different. You don't freeze as often. You don't overthink every word. You don't panic when you make a mistake. You just continue. That shift doesn't come from one technique. It comes from everything you've been doing. From speaking even when you felt uncomfortable. From making mistakes and not stopping. From practicing when no one was watching. Confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It's a result you build. And it shows up quietly. You begin to respond faster. You stop translating every sentence. You trust simple words instead of searching for perfect ones. You become more focused on the message than the form. And most importantly, you start to trust your voice. Not because your English is perfect, but because you know you can handle the moment. There will still be times when you hesitate. There will still be moments when you don't know what to say. That never completely disappears. Even fluent speakers experience that. The difference is, they don't let it stop them. They keep going. Freedom in speaking does not mean you have no fear. It means fear no longer controls you. You can feel nervous and still speak. You can make mistakes and still continue. You can be imperfect and still communicate clearly. That is real progress. And once you reach that point, your growth becomes faster. Because you are no longer holding yourself back. To maintain this, keep your habits simple. Speak regularly, even for a few minutes. Stay exposed to the language through listening and interaction. Keep challenging yourself with new situations. Not to test yourself, but to expand yourself. Don't go back to silence. Don't go back to waiting. Your voice becomes stronger every time you use it, and weaker every time you hold it back. So choose to use it. Not perfectly, but consistently. Because in the end, fluency is not about knowing everything. It's about showing up, speaking up, and moving forward, again and again, until fear becomes just a background noise, and your voice becomes the main thing people hear.